What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the progress things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I am one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
And I will always love you. Oh, I should have hit the high note there.
You haven't warmed up the voice.
No, I haven't. I've only been sitting here talking to my audience for 3.5 hours. It's definitely not.
While mowing some lawns, I see.
I've been mowing some lawns. Yeah, I just felt like using the controller today. I'm sick of mouse and keyboard from editing this fucking documentary.
Yeah.
I'm so close to being done. I can't wait.
How so? It's
7 hours.
7 hours. I literally
7 hours.
Dude, we need to like go back through the intros for the past 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, you were like, it's like 2.5 hours done, and I'm like halfway done. And then last week, it was like, it's like 4.5 hours right now, and I'm about 2/3 of the way done. And then on the Patreon episode earlier this week, you're like, it's going to be probably around 6 hours. And then I knew it was going to get to 7.
It's because everything.
You're being thorough.
Everything involves talking about something else, and the moment you're thorough about one thing, you can't really just be like, here's a super not thorough brush off thing, because everything's like equally important when it comes to like the truth about reality. Like, what's more important than anything else? So I just end up.
I freaking love it. I'm so excited. It's gonna take me like a week to get through it, but I'm so excited.
Yeah, you know what I've been doing in my free time? I've been binging. I have become a Rick and Morty enjoyer.
I saw you tweet about that. That's funny.
You didn't watch it,
I've seen probably like 20 episodes. I haven't binged through it and watched the whole thing, but I watched a little bit and it's great.
I started watching like 3 days ago. I'm on season 5.
Classic.
Yeah, so
classic.
I guess it's only like 1 or 2 more seasons before all of a sudden the voices change because the guy got canceled or whatever who did both fucking voices.
I forgot about that.
I guess so. I'm like waiting for the jarring. I don't know if it's like annoying or not. But
that's super interesting. Is it like Dan Harmon or something?
Yeah, fucking cancel culture.
I can't believe
it. Gotta ruin everything. These fucking millennials.
Dude, the Zillennials. That's funny.
But dude, it's a fantastic show. It's like it's way darker and like adult than I thought. I mean, it's just straight up like the goriest of the gore.
Yeah.
Like sex jokes constantly, like
for sure. I mean, it is just like a peek into his mind on like existential crisis, nihilism, science, funny sex jokes, haha. Like it was Justin Roiland, not Dan Harmon. Sorry, Dan Harmon is attached to that show, right? I think.
Yeah, he's one of the creators.
Yeah,
but it has the kind of sense of humor that very few things, whether they're movies or shows, can pull off, which is like it's like pushing the boundaries of PC.
Yeah.
In a way that like isn't edgy. It's just like real.
Yeah.
Like it's not trying to be edgy. It's just it just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Not in a toxic, shitty way, but like it can be like kind of meta and ironic. Like one of the episodes, I literally woke up my wife laughing out loud last night. At one point, it's like the 2 kids and the mom are at like family therapy.
Okay.
And the doctor like introduces herself, and it's like an Asian psychiatrist.
Okay.
And the white mom is like Dr. Wong. Like, wow, could it have been like she's made like a comment like, wow, that's a super racist name, which is just like it's funny on so many different levels.
Yeah.
Because it's like considering that the white woman trying to like talk about other races as if like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the people outraged over like, the little kid wearing like the Indians headdress.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like, oh God, really? But at the same time, it's like double ironic because it's almost like a commentary on the writers of the show are like white dudes. So it's like they named her Dr. Wong. So it like is racist, but in like, it's just, I don't know. Like
there's so many levels. There's so many levels. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I totally get what you mean. You can tell when like creative people are just like in their own way, however self-aware they are, commenting on the culture. And you can tell when someone is like just trying to be edgy for the lulz. Like, even though they might arrive in kind of adjacent spheres, you can kind of always tell. And it's much more fun when it's just people like, just doing their thing, kind of commenting on it, as opposed to like attempting to just be like, see how close the line I can get, see how close the line I can get, see how close, you know what I mean? It's so, yeah. Rick and Morty's funny. I don't know why I never like got back into it. I watched like 10, 20 episodes and loved it. I don't know why I never like got back into it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you have to like watch it in order because it's one of those things where it's like each individual episode can be its own standalone thing.
Yeah.
But there is kind of like an overarching narrative.
Yeah.
And there are some like legit sort of sad, dark moments. And I just love like built into it is the whole, and it's so like shamelessly frivolous, I guess. I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of, with the idea of like multiple dimensions.
Yeah.
And, like there's literally one episode that like starts off with Rick getting like a a little
notification
page. Oh no, actually it doesn't start that. It starts with them like playing board games or something or eating breakfast, and then all of a sudden someone comes in and just kills them all, just shoots them all in the head. And it's like, holy fuck. And then the next scene is he gets a little notification being like, shit, the decoy family got killed. Like, everybody pack up and whatever. And the entire episode is literally, then all of a sudden they die. And then it's another one going, fuck, the decoy family got, and then it ends up this whole existential thing where it's like all of them are like, I don't know if I'm the decoy or not.
Oh my God.
So it's like this like actual legitimate sort of existential thing.
If there are more dimensions, are they infinite? And what does that mean about me?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, the whole, I mean, yeah, which kind of touches on kind of like the No Man's Sky sort of thing.
Oh,
and all that stuff around like, if you teleport, is it actually you? If you're cloned, is it actually you? Have you ever seen the movie? Oh, never mind. I can't say it because then it'll spoil it. I literally can't even say the movie name because of the topic we're on. It would immediately
spoil it. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. I'm sad in that like I know in like 2 days I'll be just done with it.
Yep.
I think there's only like 8 or 9 seasons.
I need.
There's 6. Fuck.
I need a new show. I watched this new show on Apple TV Plus called Sugar, and it was okay. It had one of the.
That was the Maroon 5 music video.
That's what I watched. It wasn't a. Imagine if I was like,
season 2 of the music video just playing over and over again.
That show was interesting. It had one of the craziest like bomb drops like that I didn't expect in a show in a while. It was interesting.
Even crazier than the Fallout.
All right, that's our episode. Thank you, patreon.com/.
I spent all day playing golf with my dad. Okay, I gotta get it out.
Yep. I get it. You're welcome here, dude. I'm in full dad mode.
Barrel.
Yeah. It's interesting. It wasn't phenomenal, but it wasn't bad. I don't know. I'm still processing it.
Is it like dark? Is it like serious?
Yeah. I mean, it's like a detective. It's basically like an homage to like old detective movies.
Like noir?
Yes, very noir. Like there, he has got an inner monologue the whole time, and they really lean into the like. He like talks like this, and he'll be like, interesting. That sounds suspicious. Maybe I should look into that later. Like very
Does he, like, dual wield jump and it
no.
slows
I
down?
wish. I
My God, a Max
wish
Payne movie would be fucking incredible.
a Max
I need to play
Payne
Max
TV
Payne.
show would be sick.
I need to play
An
that game again. Dude. That game
HBO
got fucking dark.
Max Payne TV show. Oh, that would be sick. Actually,
I forgot that game existed. That was so
yeah.
good.
But yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. I need something with like 80 seasons. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I know, dude, and that's the problem. Is that the problem that literally all of humanity has all, especially with like the pandemic and everybody just like being inside and binging everything, is that like now everyone is caught up on everything. And now we all have to fucking wait for the next season of everything to come out, and it's miserable.
Oh, dude, this summer that Hot D is coming back. I'm so excited.
Hot D. Wait.
House of the Dragon.
Oh, right. I actually just started watching Game of Thrones, and by that I mean I watched 2 episodes and then started watching Rick and Morty, and then I'm off it. So
yeah, that's fair.
I couldn't get past the first 7 minutes of Hot D. I'm not gonna lie.
It's so good.
Just because it's like I don't know any of these characters. I don't want to have to learn all this new.
Well, I mean, I don't either. That Hot D is set like 700 years or something before Game of Thrones. So
yeah,
I didn't know a single person's name going into it. It's very slow and like character driven more than like action driven. Both of the shows were, which is why I loved them, because I like that stuff a lot. Dude, The Bear. Holy cow! Somebody said that in chat. Did you ever work in food, in a kitchen, at a fast food restaurant? Did you ever
Honey Baked Ham?
Shmoney Baked Shmam, that's right.
Shmoney Baked
Okay,
Shmam,
I don't know if that's
cut a finger in half.
Quite the speed in GTA.
And all the tables and the freezer and
in GTA.
Yeah. In GTA.
Holy dude, The Bear is so good. The Bear is one of the best shows I've seen in the past few years. It's very well done. If you've ever worked in a restaurant, you will get PTSD. It will physically harm you to watch that show. It's very good. But yeah,
I miss these story. Someone just said I miss my story time segments. I still have a few. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 more story times. Maybe we'll do one today.
5 written down story times. I actually think we'll have time to do one today, which would be perfect.
Yeah, we'll do one.
Yep. But that being said, we can hop into like the gaming and the Tarkov segment before we break back out into some other stuff, because not a whole lot has been happening. Got a lot of positive feedback from last week's episode.
Dude, a lot of people have been saying I actually got a lot of good feedback for the last few episodes, and I actually decided to dip my toes into the comment section, and I have to say I was extremely pleasantly surprised with how many people who like weren't regulars in my chat were like, I'm so excited for my documentary. I'm like,
oh hell yeah.
Because I normally, honestly, I just expect people to go, I'm so fucking sick of all this non-Tarkov talk.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. And, make a new podcast. Go, Jesse should replace Veritas so that he can talk about Tarkov all the time. And then, of course, now this time around was a bunch of people saying they were so excited. And then a bunch of people saying, why are you still talking about Tarkov? The game is dead.
Yeah. Oh,
and me just like loving reading the fucking responses to that as at the doctor's office today, just waiting.
Has been, because that always happens towards the end of a wipe, you know what I mean? But it is 10x because you have other games like Arena Breakout and Gray Zone, and B, you have like Nikita, just like crashing the spaceship with the unheard stuff. And so that it is like a factor of 10 more frequently that it's like game is dead, go play. Like people are like, it's so funny. People come in concerned. They're like, I'm glad Jesse can hold down a decent amount of viewers in this game still, because it's dying and it's dead and nobody, it's like, it's, it's hilarious. Just wait till wipe. But what happens is it's a balance, right? When the wipe happens, it'll be, I knew all of you would come crawling back. Oh, my favorite thing to do right now, every day, I called this shit. I should have clipped it. I called it, dude. After the Unheard Edition stuff went down, I like played PUBG for a day. I took a few days off where I was like literally off stream, Gray Zone launched. I was playing that. And then I hopped back to Tarkov like less than a week later than the Unheard stuff. I was playing Tarkov. Like I played some Gray Zone because that launched. And like 2 weeks ago, I remember being like, dude, every day that I play this game for the next 3 months, somebody's going to come in and either say, I'm so glad you're finally back on this game, or I can't believe you decided to come back. And brother, let me tell you, every day, the new running joke now is I just today was my 14th first day back. And I'm super excited about it because I was like, oh my God, so glad you finally decided to come back and play Tarkov. And I play Tarkov every day for 10 days in a row. Like
you need to have like one of those like days since accident.
Yes.
Counter, but it's like days since, and always just keep it one.
It's always one, dude.
Just make it a JPEG and not actually like a counter.
This is my 14th first day back. It's so funny. And I get it, but it's just like, I don't know. It's the confidence and there's just always a smugness about it of, you know what I mean? Both ways.
I'm allowed to be smug.
It's either the smugness of like, I knew you would eventually break and come back when I never left and I've been back for forever. Or it's the smugness of like, oh my God, I'm so glad you finally got over yourself, understood all those games suck, and you're finally back. I've been waiting for you. When in all reality, I've been back the whole time. So I don't know. That's been hilarious. But we did get a lot of positive feedback on last week's episode. Especially, because we spent an hour, I was very passionately gigamalding. The comments, I've dipped my toes in the comments too, and just so many people are just like commenting or timestamping like Veritas's face as he watches Jesse slowly descend into the madness he was in 3 years ago or something. It's so funny, but
yeah, and actually there were a couple of comments that in the sea of all of the happiness, these aren't didn't bother me at all, but it's funny seeing someone say like how like unhappy I looked. I'm like I've been like literally
yeah
like last week I said I was tired, but like people just see what they want to see.
100%.
I've literally been trying to suppress my smug ass smile, failing most of the time for the last couple weeks. So I don't know what that was all about. But,
it's been funny. It's been funny. But the Found and Raid event is still going on in the sense that like you can throw anything you want up on the flea. The marked rooms are still juiced, which has created some like super fun PvP. It's like old customs before they added both of the lanes. At that point, all anyone did was rush to marked room. You know what I mean? Because back then there was loot in marked room. You could sell it on the flea, and it was the one POI on the map. And so that is happening in full force again, and it has been super fun. Like I've been playing more customs than streets because it is just like 5-6 PMC kills and then dying to the 9th guy. Like it's just crazy, but it's been fun. They also did a few things. They did another, like right before actually the last podcast. We didn't end up talking about it, but right before the last podcast, they did an event. The Found and Raid event was like, here, I guess we'll give you this and see how it is. But recently with the events they've been doing, they have been like events with quests and lore and like, tweets and videos. And so they did one of those where they released like a 1-minute video. The ARG spun up again, and there was messages in bottles stapled to trees buried in Sydney, Australia, and in Tokyo. It was like crazy. They did all that. Nice guy, and the homies did all that. But there was a there was a whole quest line. It was like 14 quests. And I will say, I have to hand it to him, this is some of the least toxic event quest design that there's been. It's tedious, but it's less toxic. It's not like just have this 80 million ruble key. So like super briefly to fly through it, basically they added a new item into the game called an encrypted flash drive. It looks exactly like a flash drive. The only difference is that one says encrypted when you double click on it, which is hilarious. But they're in jackets, duffel bags, filing cabinets, safes, all over the place. The first quest, you got to find one, then you got to turn it in. Then you got to find a few like PC components found in RAID because you're trying to figure out how to decrypt it. Then you turn those in. Then you go kill a few scavs. Then you turn that in. And then you get to one. This was kind of the tedious one. You're basically decoding a password. And you have to turn in one in the Intel Center. You have to turn in one of those encrypted flash drives. But it's a 20 character passcode. And every time you like run the craft where you turn in the encrypted flash drive, it only decodes 2 of the characters. So you needed to find 10 of the encrypted flash drives. Now, they're like, I've seen pictures of people finding 10 in one raid. If you go crazy on streets, like on filing cabinets and stuff, I've seen videos. I've seen people who have said like, I've been on the quest for 5 days and I can't find a single one. This is the one where that it was definitely the most tedious, but accessible because it can be found on any map. They can be found on your scav or your PMC. The ones that you use to decode this don't need to be found in RAID, and they can be found in multiple different places. Filing cabinets,
are you
safes,
actually like
jackets.
inputting a code anywhere, or is
no? You're literally like you extract with the flash drive. You go to your
Okay.
Intel Center and you just basically start a craft in your Intel Center that's 8 minutes long, and you decode 2 of the characters of a password.
Gotcha. Okay.
So a little tedious to find 10 of them. It took me like a few hours, like the day of, and then a few hours the next day to find all 10. But way less toxic than like just some of the stuff in the past where you either have to go to a specific point on a map or do a specific thing or use a specific gun. Like you can just play the game and find these. And if you look hard enough, you can find a decent amount of them. Then that led to basically 2 branching quests. There ended up being 2 quest lines you could go. One where you sided with Peacekeeper and one where you sided with Skier. But like one was you had to kill PMCs in Ground Zero. The other one was you had to plant cameras on Ground Zero. Then you had to go to like woods to do stuff. Then you had to go kill 5 PMCs on custom 5 of anything. There were there was one quest in this where the kill was eliminate any target. So like you could go to customs and you had to have a blueberry helmet and a blueberry armor on. And it just said eliminate 5 targets. So scavs counted, PMCs counted. More quests should be like that.
Interesting. Was there like lore of that at all?
Tons of it. I didn't read a single word of it.
I would just be.
Yeah.
I'm interested in knowing what they like.
Yeah,
would have written for
it was
something like that to justify it.
Yeah, it was like you're finding this information from Ground Zero and you're decrypting it and you're handing it over to people. I don't know why.
You know what it's called?
I mean, what does it start with? It starts with the Tarkov Mystery is the name of the first quest. But it unfolds over the course of like 10 to 15 quests.
Breakthrough U-turn.
So
which one?
Either. So that's what I'm saying. You find this flash drive and you have 2 quests. One is to hand it over to Skier and one is to hand it to Peacekeeper. And depending on who you hand that to, changes the next several quests you do.
Decryption hurdles.
They're all similar, but they get slightly different depending on who you did it to.
What's the one where you have to kill random people?
See, I don't know. The wiki is being weird. The wiki is like skipping a bunch of them. Like I'm pretty sure it was after take 2 where I planted the things. Then I had to go kill stuff on customs, but this just goes straight to Forgotten Acquaintance, which is going to Lighthouse. Like Lighthouse was close to the end. So the wiki is skipping over some of the ones that were like more menial or just like go here, kill this. I know at some point I had to put on a blueberry helmet and a blueberry armor and just go kill random things on customs.
Sure, that wasn't like a daily quest.
Yeah, no, I'm positive. And then after that, I had to go kill scavs on customs without any sort of requirement on what gear I used, but it had to be scavs.
Cameras. Okay, yeah. I mean, the only reason why I'm asking is because we've just talked before about the design of quests.
Yeah,
and like the example that I was talking about last week about like the motivation for kill Killa.
Yeah,
right. Like the design of the quests, the part of the actual how well they're designed, in my opinion, has to do with what they're like, why they're asking you to do what they're asking you to do.
Yeah.
So like in the case of the Killa one, it wasn't you need to prove yourself as a professional, blah blah blah. It was like we've got a problem, take care of it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So this
now,
one says, okay.
I sided with Skier, and one of my quests was to go to customs and kill scavs or PMCs with Untar armor. So I was probably setting up Peacekeeper, right? Because I sided with Skier, so he probably had me put that armor on and just like go kill stuff. It doesn't matter what you kill, just go kill stuff because we want people to think it's those Untar guys.
Yeah, one of the ones I just looked at apparently was the wrong path. That was kill Skier's people or something.
Yes,
this
that
one,
comes
eliminate
later. Yeah,
any 5 targets while using gotcha. Okay, so now I understand. This is probably it's pretty similar to the whatever the other quest is, where they want you to like cause disarray
as a certain person
while playing as like yes, I am a policeman at this department, and then you go do a crime, and then everybody's like, yo, fuck the police, right?
Yeah.
I've been reading their girlish chat. The Doves want to team up because they've lost too many people in these stupid skirmishes. We need to stop them from forming an alliance. They've done enough damage as it is, and I already have a plan. Grab your gear and go make some noise. It will make them doubt their idea.
So maybe part of the lore was that the scavs and Peacekeeper, because this does end up you working with Fence. So maybe the scavs and Peacekeeper were talking about an alliance, and that's why he's like, go to customs in Untar gear and just kill anything and everything. Kill scavs, kill PMCs, like pretend to be one of them and just kill, and maybe that'll make them doubt their plans.
It's kind of should we be glad that I've a lot of people hate that quest
setup
peacekeeping mission.
Oh, peacekeeping mission. Yeah. I don't find that one too bad.
My computer literally just blue screen.
Nice.
Sick. I have always thought that quest was actually well designed. Whether it's fun, whether I want to do it is a different thing. But in terms of like game design, I always thought it was a well designed quest. So the fact that they just copy pasted the fucking quest on another quest line is like they're duplicating the good quest.
Yeah.
That's less bad than they make another shitty quest.
Bad quests. Yeah. Now, once again, I'm sure there was lore and a story here, and I'm sure that the ARG stuff expanded on it so much more. I think I agree with you so staunchly on the, like, I want the tasks to make sense, but they would have such an unbelievable uphill battle to climb to get any people in the Tarkov community to care about reading the flavor text. Like, it would have to be like unskippable spoken quest text.
FMV.
Exactly. In order to get people to understand. Like, the last time I even considered reading more than the requirement on any new quest added to the game, it's been years. Like, you asked me, And
I know the answer for me.
And I got caught off guard when you asked me. Like, I put in our notes, I was like, oh, we can talk about the new event quest. And you were like, what was the lore? And I was like, oh, it wasn't until this podcast 6 minutes ago that I even considered reading a single one of the flavor text to any one of these quests. Why? Because it has no bearing on anything. It has no bearing on me, how I execute it, like the results of it. This is one of the few that actually technically does, because if I had read it, I would have maybe made more informed decisions on if I go with Skier or Peacekeeper. But
yeah, I mean, it's the quests. Fuck. I wish I remembered any of the quests. What's the gold pocket watch one?
I don't know.
Golden swag is
swag.
one. Let me just read.
No.
So, okay. So here, this is one of the earliest quests in the game.
Yeah.
One of the earliest quests, right? Want to take a side job in your main specialization? Okay, that's creepy. What a hypocritical world. I serve time for roughing some punk up, and my lingo gets me scoffed at by a nutcase who drops people down in numbers without a trance of remorse. And where's the justice? That's right, as my prosecutor said, blah, 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 blah. Okay. A group of scavs is infesting the factory, and one of their pins is a character who goes by the handle of Uruguay. What a word I don't want to say, alias to choose. What a shame. Who the hell raises such morons? But I digress. The objective is to finish his earthly path, but this is only half the battle. He has a lighter, sort of a lucky charm. The gilded Zibbo fidgets it all the time in his claws. Dropped by my place and sure went on clicking it. And by the way, he lived in the dorms, room 303. So I need this light to be carefully dropped off in a safe house for somebody to properly get blah, blah, right? So it's like, if that, ignoring all the garbage beforehand that is actually just kind of crappy writing.
Yeah.
And it's like a bad attempt at world building flavor, but that's actually like a perfect quest.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like, I hate to say it, but we all hate it because we've done it 800 billion times.
Yeah.
But the idea of wanting to plant a thing somewhere else, you go to the guy's house, they tell you where he is, you have to find the key, right? Like, all of these things.
For sure.
It's interesting. You have to go from one place to another on a map in the same, like,
yeah.
It's just and the quests have just gone. Like, it's like whoever made this quest doesn't work at Battlestate Games anymore.
You know what's funny though?
Must have left.
I hadn't even thought about this. Like, Gray Zone. So basically, at first, what I was thinking is they shouldn't show the deliverable of the quest on a separate line, because if I see eliminate 15 scavs on customs, I don't read the rest. I know I need to eliminate 15. But then I was like, then you lose the ability to track your progress if they don't do that. But then I was like, flip it the other way. Gray Zone actually did a really good job. I was nonstop opening my tasks and reading the flavor text, because they like the deliverables ask a question that the flavor text answers. So you get the gist. So it'll be like find the secure hard drive. That's the deliverable. And you're like, where is it? And in the flavor text, it's like, it was almost exactly that. It was like, the guy was into some really deep stuff. He lived up at Tiger Bay in one of the estates. And so I think with Tarkov, a lot of the quests are like, the deliverables are so simple where it's just like kill 10 PMCs or turn in this item. Like, turn in 10 power cords. There's no questions I'm asking. It's just, I know I need to go in and find power cords. So I just scav interchange or some place where there's tons of PCs, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
there's nothing else I need to know.
But Gray Zone is going to have simple quests like that.
Yeah.
But here's the difference. The difference is And it's the same reason why that quest was done the way it was. Because when they made the quest in 1994 or whenever the fuck they made it, there was no wiki. So they have to tell you there's no wiki for Gray Zone. So they have to give you that. Now they don't have to give you the information.
Yeah. Well, it was, chicken and egg type thing, because some of those early quests were also written poorly. Like,
for sure.
One of the quests that's been in the game the whole time, I don't remember what it is, but it's on customs. It's where you have to go. Yeah, is boiler side, the train, and then where the thing was like bugged, where you actually had to like get in the corner and then slow lean until the thing came up. Like, that quest flavor text, if I'm not mistaken, is like find the thing on customs.
Pokelim Hobo? Maybe?
No, that's where you kill a bunch of scavs on woods. If anyone in chat knows the name of that quest, Chemical Part 1. Let's do.
So it says obtain information about Deputy Chief's past life on customs. So Sherlock, you want a riddle? You're a pro of these head crackers, right? Here, look. One lame hobo came around here, either nuts or just demented. Hell if I knew. All in rags, dirty head to toe, walking chemical weapon, blah blah blah. Just want to dispose of him, blah 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 blah. Deputy headed security for 2 special sensitive zones on the Pogcast. Just imagine what kind of source could he become? He could at least remember his name, not just chew snots and mumble. Jesus Christ, all fucking
it's
mighty.
so long.
All this time, that bagger lived somewhere, sleeping on some pissed through mattress, right? Right. You should look for that place.
So the quest says go to customs, and all you have is pissed through mattress.
Which is like every single room in customs.
You'd look at every room in dorms.
And then even then, you're looking for, it says obtain information.
So
you're like looking at every crevice, under every folder, every desk.
You don't
in all
actually
the rooms
know. You're looking for a physical item. Like in a lot of games where it says look for information. Oh, actually, let me go back. Hold on. Ceasefire Part 2. Hold on. This is going to be relevant.
Oh, maybe okay. Oh, the image doesn't show.
Okay, wrong thing.
Train cars.
Anyways, a lot of those images are placeholder. Even if that one shows a train car, like a bunch of unrelated ones show that same image of a train car, right? So that would just be luck. It wouldn't be good quest design.
Yeah, and so someone just said, yeah, I mean, it's a hobo, though, and hobos hop freight trains. Why would he live in a dorm if he's homeless? Okay, if this was The Witness, I would spend the time to try to decode the puzzle. There's no fucking puzzle anywhere ever. Yeah. Half the time they don't tell you because they don't know how to design video games. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you can't spend all day trying to. Maybe there's binary encoded into every 17th letter, and I need to convert it to ASCII, and that'll give me the code that it makes a QR code. Or maybe they just didn't fucking explain it.
Yeah, I get that. I get the whole, well, he's a hobo, but it's like, once again, like if you gave that, and I'm trying to get to a point that we keep getting sidetracked off of, which is fine. But no. But if you gave that quest, Chemical Part 1, every bit of grace, well, like, yeah, you're supposed to read it. So that I would still say it falls way short, because like nowhere in the quest text does it say you have to go to customs. You actually have to look up in the top corner of the text, and then it says it's on customs. It doesn't tell you what area of the map. Like if you
don't even know what you're looking for.
If you're doing the first time you do Chemical Part 1, you're level 15, right? Your first playthrough, you don't know that there are train cars on customs. I don't even think that's that's definitively not the only place there are train cars on customs. So it's like,
well, it says obtain information about Deputy Chief's past life on customs is like.
Oh, okay. So like there are multiple places there are train cars on customs. There's 2 dorms that are, all over the place. So like I would say,
and it's abandoned. So a hobo could live literally anywhere.
Yeah, and exactly, the whole region is abandoned. So this hobo isn't actively hopping freight trains in the Norvinsk region. It's the whole place has been abandoned. So if there's a hobo, so it's like it could have said, like what we're saying is that certain quests here, and this is to get to the point. What we're saying is that certain quests like the watch one that you just read did a fantastic job. So this is another reason that we can say Chemical Part 1 is a bad quest, because in Tarkov, they've done better quests. That quest you read was great. He's a dude. He had this lighter. You know why the lighter is important, because it was important to him. He lived in the dorms, room 303. You'll go there the first time. You'll see it's locked. You'll then go, oh, I need to find the 303 key. Like, it kind of unfolds as you go. So,
and you know what you're looking for, and it's a fucking obvious. There's not just gold lighters
exactly
hanging around, right?
It's saying the golden lighter. So we don't have to use Gray Zone. We don't have to use another game and say, well, it's not as good as Gray Zones. We can say Chemical Part 1 is not as good as Golden Swag. Because what information I'm looking for, I actually don't know if that information is like, I just go to a certain, like one of the quests in this quest chain this week was go to the roof on customs. And by just going to the roof, I got the quest done. So like obtain information. What am I looking for? What kind of information? They've done obtain information that are on flash drives. They've done obtain information that are on flash drives that are normal. They've done obtain information on instanced only flash drives that look normal. Sometimes obtaining information is a document. Sometimes obtaining information is just going to a place and then you arrive. So they say obtain information from a guy on customs and he pisses the bed. That's, you know what I mean? And I say that to say the reason the wiki came about, you know, was it the chicken or the egg that came first? I don't know. Back in the day, they had some of the best quest design they've ever done. But back in the day, there were also Chemical Part 1s. And the minute the guy found the letter, you know, he posted that on Reddit, he posted that somewhere, and then people started, you know, accumulating that information and posting it. So I think that, and what happens is, you know, we've talked about this at length, but what happens is funny is because the quests they devolve. Well, they don't have to. What BSG chose to do is a lot of the quests devolved instead of evolved. Instead of making better flavor text where, like, you know, the quest objective kind of begged a question and then you got the answer to that question in the flavor text and you kind of at least had some semblance of an idea, they got more and more obscure or harder to do, which pointed people back towards the wiki as opposed to farther away. So even if your team, I think that was good, you know, they said it was a hobo, I would have found him on the train. Well, you might have, but 99.9% of people didn't, and they flocked to get that information somewhere. So your world would be better if they got a little bit better at the quest design and the flavor text, because then less people would need to go to the wiki. So
my question is, in Gray Zone, if there was a wiki, do you think, like, honestly, if I were to jump into Gray Zone a month from now, right? I wonder if here's the thing. There's a good chance I might just pull up the wiki.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely wiki a lot of the quests. They get harder the farther down the quest line you go, where you're like looking for some specific item in this, but they always give you, like, their worst quest is still above average when comparing to Tarkov, because it always gives you a specific item you're looking for. Like, one of the harder ones that I actually had to ask a question was like looking for a golden golf club. And I couldn't find it, so I ended up having to ask. But I knew where and exactly what I was looking for. You know what I mean? And I just couldn't find it and I couldn't be bothered, so I asked the question. So there could still be, and I'm sure there is, a Gray Zone wiki. But there's something to be said about, though, that difficulty scaled, which meant the beginner experience was good. In the first 10, 15, 20 quests were like the building in the northeast of this town with the graffiti on it. And so you kind of like, you know, that the game was educating you on like how wide of a range is northeast. Sometimes it was right in the northeast corner, sometimes it wasn't. But you could kind of figure all those out, and then it got harder and harder and harder, and, you know, some of them were hard enough that I asked a friend where it was, but it at least kind of taught you the way as it went.
Man, I was just thinking, like, I just wish that the quests themselves, right? Like you could make the argument that the quests are just there to have you fucking go between point A and point B,
Yeah.
and it's a shooting game. And then there's the other side of it where it's like the quests themselves could be like these rich,
Yeah.
like doing puzzles in an interesting story game or whatever.
Yeah.
Like imagine a couple of different kinds of interaction that they could add. I literally just had this full on fucking tableau in my head of imagine some guy got murdered or whatever. I was just literally picturing a safe, like with a digital keypad,
Yeah.
you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and having like, and imagine you could walk up to it and interact with it. And like beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
And I was just picturing like a blood splatter, like he got shot, right? Blood splatter on the thing with like the keypad buttons
In blood.
the ones that are the combination one with the blood wiped off.
Oh yeah.
Or the equivalent of like you use a flashlight or like the fucking black light, like luminol to see, you know, like, there's so many like little cool fucking things they could do.
Yeah.
That's not just search for the thing in this thing.
Yeah. But I think that kind of goes both directions, like middle out compression. You know what I mean? It like, yeah. I am interested to see what they do with the storyline quests, because that's something they've been talking about for years, that those are going to be like quests and that everything we're doing is side quests. I know. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying that with the information that we have. So my thought is like, what I guess I dislike about a lot of the quests in Tarkov is that they feel like halfway. They feel like side quests trying to be main quests, and they just overcomplicate a side quest. I don't mind if the side quests are like, go here, kill these people, go here, get this thing, do this thing, but make it simple then. You know what I mean? Don't make it like the guy pissed his bed on customs, go find some info for me. You know, it's like, oh, just tell me to go kill 10 people over here. If it's a side quest, that's fine with me personally. So it's interesting. But I say all that to say, lore aside, we've talked at length before about how the quests have over the years gotten progressively more like weird and niche and arbitrary and confusing and hard to complete and restrictive. And sometimes it makes a lot of sense in the lore, like setup or peacekeeping mission. Sometimes they don't. But lore aside, this quest line felt really accessible in the sense that like it didn't. Time is a hard thing, because if something is hard and takes a lot of time, you know, you have people that are like, well, I only play, you know, a few hours a week. I can't do it. I actually had a bunch of people come to my chat and said that this quest line was too easy. Time is one of the metrics, but there are other metrics too. And a lot of the times where BSG has dropped the ball are in some of the other metrics, in that like you need a key that is 18 million rubles and impossible to find. Or you need an item that you can only get if you're level 55. So that's separate from just like this quest line took a lot of time to complete, because some things should just be hard, some things should be easy, right? We should have a range. This was very accessible in that if you could put the time in, anybody could do this. Like all the crafts were at Intel Center level 1. None of these things, like you can buy blueberry armor at level 1 Peacekeeper. The only weapon requirement was an M4, and they gave you one, and you can buy M4s. Like nothing about it intrinsically was like, this is ridiculous. Even the encrypted flash drives, it wasn't like they were only on labs. They were on any map, filing cabinets, safes. So I felt like in general, this was of the better. And it was so funny because I saw people say it was easy. I was like, dude, I think that's fine. I think some things should be hard, but hard and easy are such weird terms to define. And like, you've got a portion of the community that just have a hard on for like getting kicked in the nuts. You know what I mean? It wasn't hard enough. I didn't have to buy green key card and run it 72 times to find a purple Bitcoin that I can't put in my secure container. And if I die with it, it resets my quest. Like that's the only hard that's sufficient for some amount of people. And I think that's so crazy. But I did generally think that these quests were fine. You had to go to Lighthouse and find a letter. No, sorry, not lighthouse. You had to go to shoreline and find a letter. Then you had to go to freaking, where was it? Then you had to go to lighthouse and find you actually did need a key for this one, but you could vault into the window, which was funny. Then you had to go to find a hideout. Then I
liked that you could vault in the window and then into the other, out the window and into the window of the new map.
The ground zero. Yeah.
The ground zero. There's that one.
Yes.
I liked that.
Me too.
Because somebody took there was one of those keys that has like a static spawn. I went there and it already was taken.
Yep.
And I was like, fuck.
But the door was still locked.
Yep.
And so, yeah, 100%. I think that's great. So there was another one of those where one of the quests was you had to find the hideout at the chalet, and it's a locked door. And then that was the quest. And then the next quest was like gain access to it. So there is a key for it, but you can also jump onto the roof and vault into the window. Then you find a thing. Then it was the eliminate peacekeepers people and skiers people, which was crazy because it was a global task. You know how they've done that before? It was like hand in the trillion rubles. Everybody that does it participates. This was based on who you picked. You had to go to customs and eliminate skiers people, or go to shoreline and eliminate peacekeepers people. But it was 1 million. They wanted you to eliminate. They wanted the community to eliminate 1 million. Less than 24 hours later, the website counters were like at 30,000, and they just went to the next step of the quest. Like it didn't even come close, Veritas. It didn't even come close, dude. Then you had to like plant some radio repeaters on woods. Then you had to go do a bunch of stuff. Let me see. Then you had to sell 15 barter items to Fence, which you could literally buy off the flea market and then sell to him. Then you had to go to customs and kill some scavs. Then you had to go find a golden G phone on the balcony of 3-story. And then that was it. And then you get, okay. So then the reason that this quest was interesting is it said that you got 2 things if you do this quest line. One, a permanent trophy that you can keep in your, like permanently in your hideout forever that persists through wipes. And a bespoke achievement. And we know that achievements also persist through wipes. So that was why this was like the first attempt at them doing that. Like, 3 years from now, I have this trophy in my trophy room in my hideout. I was there for this event. You know what I mean? A lot of games have done that type of thing, like a specific type of armor or a specific that. Now, the trophy was like a holographic cat face. That's it. I mean, it's literally like a little trophy of a holographic cat. And you just put it in your trophy wall, and that's what you got. I mean, you got like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of XP by doing all these quests, but that was what people are working for. It was just a little trophy. Little trophy.
Huh.
It was funny. But you know what's funny, though, is that, like, as we have said before, it is a low bar to get, like, replayability for the Giga Chads is a low bar. We've talked before about how, like, the Kappa container is too good of an item to put that far up. Like, the Kappa should be like level 42, because who cares? If you can get to level 65 and get the Kappa, you don't need the 3 extra slots. And the grinders don't need that good of an item as an excuse for replayability. And you want to know how I know? There have been more than a few people who finished this quest, got the achievement, and reset their accounts so they could do the quest again, choosing the other trader. Because it was 2 separate achievements. Like, the achievements are so meaningless. They're so nothing. But you have people resetting their accounts so that they can get the other one. Because once this wipe ends, once this quest line ends, you can't get those achievements again. So as we've said before, the grinders, you know what I mean? The people, it's like, it doesn't have to be that big of a thing to give them something to do to make them happy. Like, the grinders are there to grind. You don't have to give them the cool rewards. You can just give them cosmetics, clothes, trophies, achievements, stuff that has no bearing on gameplay, and they'll keep themselves entertained for years to come. You know what I mean? For years to come. So I found that to be interesting. There's a few other Tarkov things, and I mean, we can even keep talking about that if we want to. But before we do, I do want to take a second and thank the first sponsor for this episode, and that is MeUndies. Once again, I love their kind of copy here because it's so true. You've got, you know, in your underwear drawer, anything goes. You got pairs from 3 birthdays ago, 2 Christmases ago, 5 different brands, 5 different fits. That is so me. Literally, I am in the shower and then I get out and I grab and I realize I grabbed the underwear that literally fits wrong and I hate it. And so I just walk into my room and I get the other pair. It is literally all over the place. But the buttery, velvety, soft comfort of MeUndies has me hooked now, for sure.
See, I don't have that problem because I literally have about 85 pairs of MeUndies.
I'm jealous.
So, I've thrown everything else out. Today I got fucking
dinosaurs.
Brother, dinosaurs.
I need some funny ones. I got black ones, but I need some because that's like, I feel like, I mean, you remember back in the day, socks were the big thing where you can get like the weird looking socks. I feel like that's undies now. I don't know. Listen, this is a sponsor read, but they're genuinely, I feel specifically seen and heard by that first paragraph because that is literally my life. And I just go and buy the cheapest stuff I can find normally. And now every single time these are washed, I want to wear these. So they're great. They're style for everyone. They've got all sorts of different like sizes and patterns and designs and weird stuff. MeUndies also isn't just about underwear. You can explore their lounge collection featuring comfy joggers, hoodies, onesies, activewear, all sorts of stuff. All just as
I'm wearing the joggers almost every day, by the way.
Really? I need to get some. I need some good joggers. Their signature fabric is soft and warm. It's breathable and stretchy. They use sustainably sourced materials. And if you're not happy with your first pair of MeUndies, it's on MeUndies. So I've really enjoyed them so far. I want to get more stuff. So if you're interested, you can get 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/Pogcast. That is MeUndies.com/Pogcast for 20% off plus free shipping. MeUndies, comfort from the outside in. Bada bing boom bow.
I kind of want to play. I have an idea for a game.
Oh God.
A podcast game.
Okay.
But I'm working on it. So give me a couple minutes, and then I want to play a game.
Is it Tarkov related?
All of that. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh damn. Mm-hmm. So that was just stall. Continue to stall while you get it ready.
All that was to get ready for. To wait.
I'm excited. Yeah. Okay. Well, the story of Nikita's Twitter saga continues.
Oh, no.
Not even bad. Well, okay, there is one. Let me see if I can find it. Dude, I don't know. I think I screenshotted it. Screenshotted it. Anyways, dude, I don't know.
Wait, okay, I might be able to play the game now. If
I'm
you want.
freaking losing my mind. Yes, I was looking for a screenshot that I sent, but yes, what? Yes. You go, and then I wasn't ready apparently.
Well, so I guess the paradox here though is that you'd probably have to pay attention.
Okay.
To play the game, so maybe this won't work right now.
Okay. No, I'm so attention paid.
Okay. I'm gonna read you. This game is called fucking Nikita or Chat GPT.
Oh God.
I'm gonna read 3 excerpts of quest flavor text.
Okay. Oh.
2 of them are real.
Okay.
One of them I just generated with Chat GPT.
Okay.
I wanna see if you can
God.
Tell.
Okay.
Okay, here you are, just in time. I could use your help. My dudes tried to borrow some supplies from the warehouses at the military base, but no luck. Some serious guys dug in there. And these other fellas are tough as fuck, not just regular smartasses. And I feel that unless you fuck them up, my guys can't steal any supplies from there. I don't give a shit about the whole base, but the underground warehouses are where the good stuff is. You'll help us, won't you? Yeah, go there and back up my guys while they search the place.
I want to say that's Tarkov.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey there, come in. Well, as you can see, it's rough times now. You can trust nobody. There are traitors and moles in every corner possible. But as far as I can see, you are a good soldier, proven in action, so I can count on you. Now, I need to send some info from time to time, and I need an appropriate person for this. Someone who's trusted not only by me, but by everyone else, too.
That I want to say ChatGPT.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Last one.
Last one. Okay.
Listen up, soldier. I've got the lead on something big, something that could turn the tide in our favor. Somewhere in the city, there's an old manufacturing facility, long abandoned. Rumor has it, back in the day, it was used for some high-level research stuff the government wanted to keep buried. I need you to get in there and find an encrypted data drive. It's hidden somewhere inside the facility, probably well guarded.
That I want to say ChatGPT as well.
Okay. The first one was real. The second one was real. And the third one was ChatGPT.
What's ChatGPT? Okay.
And I actually changed it slightly from what the prompt was because it said somewhere in the woods. And I'm like, nah, that's he would know. Jesse was a woodsman.
Yeah,
he would know. Yeah. And also, there's not like a facility in the woods, really.
Yeah.
So I said somewhere in the city. I'm like, maybe the streets is big enough that he would know.
Yeah.
I haven't played enough Streets to know if that quest makes any sense.
Yeah, but once again, dude, it has been such an unbelievably long amount of time since I've read the flavor text that I wouldn't even know like how they refer to the things I have callouts for. You know what I mean? Like, is that a lab? Like, I played Streets for like 4 months, and then it took like 4 to 6 months of them, and then they did an event quest before I realized there was a Terra Group facility on Streets. Mm-hmm. It was like, go to the Terra, and I'd been playing Streets for 6 months straight. I was like, where's the Terra Group facility? And then I was like, oh, it's that building. So yeah, I don't know. I wonder if so.
I think if we do something like that again, I should wait to have you guess until at the end, because I wonder. So do you think if you had all three and you had to guess?
Oh, maybe.
Because, yeah, there was only one fake one, right? So
I felt pretty confident about the first one, and I felt pretty confident about the last one. It was that middle one that I was on the fence about.
So then maybe if you heard all three, you would have gotten it like totally right.
Maybe. Yeah, because maybe after I'd heard the one I was confident was ChatGPT, I would have then. Yeah. I don't know.
I grabbed like the most pointless quest, the one where you have to reach level 4 with all the traders. Perfect Mediator. That's the one where it's like. And I also left out the last sentence. Don't bother fucking Ivan Igorovich for now. Do you even know who that is?
No.
I forget. I feel like that's like probably Skier's name. Ivan Igorovich. Oh, it's Jaeger. Wait, but you have to reach level 4 loyalty with him. The flavor text literally says forget about him now. Forget about him. So they probably changed the fucking quest at some point. Honestly, it probably was when they first added him. You probably didn't have to do it with him.
Yeah.
And then they changed the quest, and then they never changed the flavor text.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would it say don't bother him?
Probably.
Is he the most recent trader?
Jaeger? I mean, yeah. Lighthouse doesn't count. Or sorry, Lightkeeper doesn't count. So yeah, he's got to be.
Yeah, okay. Ragman. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
True. I've been wanting to play a fucking mini game. Next time I'll have theme music.
Dude, remember when we were doing Reddit on Reddit? We had like little segments we were planning.
Oh my god, when we were just nubile.
Yeah, when we still thought we could keep our podcast to 30 to 60 minutes.
When we first started this podcast, it was like, are they going to be at 15 minutes? Are they going to be 20 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then now they're like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, to 3 hours. Yeah, 100%.
And we don't even get to cover all the shit we want to talk about.
No. Okay, so what I was gonna say was Nikita's kind of Twitter continuation, I should say. Okay, so there's been a few interesting things, and none of it really is like super negative. The only thing is what's been funny is that Nikita, it's man. The internet is a place where like nothing is a W or an L. All things exist in this like weird state in between. Nikita went kind of on an explosive tirade after like Arena Breakout came out, and he was just like, it seemed like he was just so over the bullshit of the Unheard edition and Arena Breakout, and he was pissed at them, and he kind of like exploded and like responded super aggressively to some people. But for the past like 10 days to 2 weeks, what he's just been doing is like tweeting polls and like asking questions and leaking stuff and posting screenshots, and it's all been like super just chill stuff, super cool stuff that, you know, communication questions he's asked the community on like how they feel about certain mechanics, basically what we've wanted the whole time. And of course it's like, but everybody has to look at that through the lens of, is this a W or is it an L, and why? So you've had a bunch of people tweet stuff like to the effect of, you know, it only took one PR nightmare and now one Tarkov-like competitor to finally give Nikita the kick in the ass to finish everything he was promised. And then like Nikita's responding to tweets like that with like, yeah, we completed everything that we promised in 1 week. We literally just sat there doing nothing, and then bam, stuff became ready in no time. So Nikita's obviously, you know, firing back and trolling. And that was a light one. I can't find it, but there were some like super aggressive, like literally Nikita like fuck off, just like 2 people. Which
you sent one screenshot to me.
Oh yeah, that was a different one, but yeah, that was something. But basically what's happened is
fuck off in all caps.
Yeah.
Go 3D rip this knife from EFT and fucking compare it to this knife.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, yeah, that one was Moy Dogs. Not that one. The other one I read. What I'm saying is that Nikita is fighting back on that, and there's layers to it, because one of the layers is like, what people like Nikita's response to that, which is like, we were doing nothing and then bam, suddenly all this work got done. Nobody's saying that. What we've wanted forever was communication about the work being done. You're now communicating about the work being done right after all of this stuff. So it's like, if he's right and it has nothing to do with the Unheard stuff, it has nothing to do with Arena Breakout, which seems unlikely, but even if he's right, it's useless to argue that, because if it literally came from just like an enlightened moment 7 days ago where he woke up in the middle of the night and was like, I should tweet more. He picked the worst time to do it. So like, it's only going to be seen that way. So the pushback and the arguing of like he just keeps doubling and tripling and quadrupling down. I'm like, no, I'm just deciding to communicate. I'm just doing that. It's like, just ignore that and just keep doing it. Because it is a smaller sect of people that are calling him out. And I'm not saying you should or shouldn't call him out. I'm just saying that it's such a weird look to me to argue against that, because the timing is unbelievably coincidental. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's the same. I remember having this conversation, I forget about what. I think it was on the podcast probably a year or two ago, about the paradox of when someone like fucks up and they make a mistake, the moment that like they try to apologize and like do right by it, people are like, you're only doing that because whatever. It's like, so then do I just like
exactly?
It's the paradox of like, if some people fuck up like we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
It just sucks that like that there's like no difference between the people who fuck up genuinely are like fuck my bad and get canceled or whatever versus the people who just fuck up on purpose because they know they can say oops our bad with like the corporate we really care about our blah blah and it's complete nonsense, right?
And that's such a good point that if we're talking about online, on Twitter, those two people are indistinguishable from each other most of the time. Somebody who genuinely is like, oh, dude, we messed up. I shouldn't have done that. I want to be better. That is always going to be met with like, well, you're just doing that because you got caught. This is just service to your fan, whatever. And then the guy who, either messed up on purpose or genuinely didn't care would be met with that same response, which once again, I'm not here in any way, shape, or form to say Nikita or BSG are genuinely sorry or are not. If anything, they've like refused to apologize. The best we've gotten was a we're sorry you feel this way. It's been kind of manipulative and weird. But what I'm saying is what I found interesting wasn't the correlation. Like people making that correlation wasn't surprising. Like, okay, it only took Arena Breakout and the Unheard edition and now you're communicating. What I find interesting is his like visceral rejection of that. Like what else would you call it? Because once again, very few people, like only very few people actually believe they were doing no work and now they're doing work as a result of the drama. What most of the people believe is we've been begging you to communicate more with your audience for 6 years. It's mighty sus that you woke up 4 days after all this happened, Arena Breakout came out, and decided to start communicating. So it's more about the communication, and we love it. We like when you tweet leaks. We like when you guys let us know what's going on. They even took some feedback. This event that's going on right now, like I said earlier, gives an achievement, and when this quest line is over, you'll never be able to get that achievement again. Gingy and Arrowing Marine and a few people were adding Nikita on Twitter being like, if this does really go away and we lose access to it, it would be really nice to know how long we have. Because now people are asking, do I have time to complete the quests? And we don't know. Sure enough, 24 hours later, the official BSG account tweeted, hey, the current event is going to end on this day. So whether you believe it's altruism or for nefarious reasons, whether you believe that it's all because of the PR nightmare or Arena Breakout, or if it's different, what's happening is communication that we've wanted for a long time. It's such a weird hill to die on to just like ring people over on Twitter and be like, no, it's not because of these things I just did. It's like, it kind of is. And if it's not, you're never going to convince everybody. So just like move on. That's what I just found interesting, I guess. Because you're never going to be able to convince anyone of anything anymore. I don't know.
Well, I mean, maybe that's why I still think that No Man's Sky is the best example of, and this is actually kind of slightly paradoxical. It's the best example of this done right.
Yeah.
But in a weird way, because they didn't communicate at all.
Yeah.
They shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And they just got to work and then just start spitting out
a good
game. And even then, and they didn't majorly fuck up before either.
Yeah.
That was the fucking games press and the player base.
Yeah.
Honestly, were the shitty ones there, But
because that resulted in a positive result doesn't mean I think it was the best course of action for them. I think what they were doing with the work plus like weekly communication about what they were working on while literally never responding to a negative comment, I think that would have been a net positive outcome. They would have been putting out communication, hey, we're working on this, we're working on that. It would have been literally complete, like ratioed every single time trolled, but the true fans would have gotten, because that was a thing at that time, was that the people that did enjoy the game felt ostracized, felt like they weren't even working on it. It was hard to tell if they were doing anything. So we look back at that through rose-colored glasses and like, look what they made because they shut up and put their head down. But I think when people were in it, even the people that truly did love the game were feeling like, dude, what are you guys doing? So that So I say all that to say, I love what BSG is doing. It might be because they're embarrassed. It might be because they're scared to lose players to Arena Breakout. It might be because they're sorry for the Unheard Edition. I'll literally never be able to know why they're doing it, but they're doing it. So just keep doing it. Stop like responding to people on Twitter super sarcastically. Just like do it. Put the head down and do it. Because they've been tweeting a bunch of really cool information and it's been awesome. You know what I mean? Like whatever reason you think is the reason they are doing it, sure. Like think that. There's a reasonable claim to be made for all of those reasons, but they're doing it. We can't lose sight of that because that is a thing. We've talked about that before. Where like somebody messes up, it gets messy in public. A question has to be asked, which is like, what do we want as the results of this situation? Right?
Well,
like we can't go back in time. What do we want as a result? Well, if we want the person to like stop doing that and get better, and they act as if they're stopping and doing that and get better, it doesn't mean you are required to implicitly trust them, but we can't discipline the bad behavior and then discipline the good behavior. It's like, you don't have to trust them. You don't have to like it. I'm not at all saying that you just like hunky dory about it, but you know, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry. I rambled.
No, not your fault. Not your fault at all. Oh, right. So you were like, they're fucked if they do, fucked if they don't. Like, what do people want? Well, here's the thing. Back to what the conversation we had either last week or the week before. The people who are the ones that are upset, they just want to be upset.
Yes.
They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah.
So they don't actually care what you do.
Yeah.
They would be the ones that would be like, I can't believe you're not apologizing if they didn't.
Yeah.
And, of course you're apologizing if they did.
Yeah.
Because they don't give a fuck. They just want to be toxic douchebags.
Yeah.
Right? They just want the drama. Whereas the people who I think most of the reasonable people are the ones that step back from their keyboards, and like don't say anything. And they interpret like the apology as like that felt sincere.
Yeah.
So now I'm not gonna completely want to disengage from like the community or the game. I'm not going to give it up because I actually think that was genuine, versus the other people that are like, fuck that's bullshit. The people who don't like, the response should never be a gauge of whether or not they did the right thing or not.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And if you're a person that takes a step back, considers it, and says, I think that's genuine, that's not a complete endorsement and full trust. Like the people that think, I don't know where I land on this, but the people that think like, oh, hey, they realize they messed up and they're trying to be better. None of them think like they're never going to do anything wrong again. You know what I mean? It's like the trust you have when someone in your life messes up and you express your frustration and they apologize. You can believe it's genuine and be happy that is the route we're taking, and also not fully trust that they're never going to do it again. It's like, well, now you have to show me, right? So I think that's a thing too, where anybody that interprets this as actually BSG trying to get better is immediately just like a dick rider who thinks that BSG's never going to do anything wrong again. And everyone's like, oh, they're just going to take you for a ride again. You'll see. It's like, what I'm saying is that they might. I'm saying that all I can see right now is, hey, I like that behavior. Keep doing that. And we might be cool. We're not cool yet, but like, you know what I mean? So it's a separate thing, and that's important. And that requires nuance, which obviously is impossible for people to understand. But I don't know. All that to say that I found that particular aspect of it to be intriguing, and I am in no way high and mighty on my high horse telling Nikita what he should or shouldn't do. It's his personal Twitter account, and if he wants to shitpost and like respond to haters, like to farm the Twitter drama, dude, so be it. You do you. I just found that to be a weird hill to die on because not even because of how I interpret how truthful what he's saying is, but because it's so obvious that every person he's responding to will never like come around to it. I have this conversation all the time in chat where like if two people are arguing, I stop and I'd be like, both of you just for 1 second, consider if at any point in this argument you genuinely thought when you hit enter, the other guy was going to be like, holy shit, you're right. I can't believe I didn't think about that. Like, what are we doing? Like, we know you disagree, but you both also know you're not going to convince the other. Why is this continuing? Like, you know, and so it's like he's responding to people that it's like, he knows he's never going to convince them. They know they're never going to be convinced. It's like, what are we doing?
Those examples are not exactly equivalent, though, because you have a random person and a random person. That's different than...
For sure.
Then when he's responding, he's not trying to change that guy's mind. He's trying to make a statement to everyone.
I guess that's true.
You know, like, so, you know, if I'm fucking quoting some toxic douchebag troll, right, in like Twitter, I'm like quote posting.
Yeah.
I'm there to like be like, look at this asshole. You know, and if I like write a response there, it's like me thinking out loud. I won't care if he reads it or not.
Gotcha. I see what you mean.
So it could just be that he's like defending himself towards the community, just using this.
That's fair.
Because he probably gets 100 people. There's probably 1,000 tweets he gets, right, that are shut up and get to work.
Yeah.
All he needs to do is respond to one and say fuck off, whatever, and that's his response to
everyone. Yeah. I mean, I guess you're right.
I don't know.
I guess you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But in that case, the difference is that, you know, the two people in like a Twitch chat or whatever, they're just shit posting to each other and wanting to engage in that thing, and it's its own self-contained thing. Whereas Nikita's doing what he's doing. What he needs to do though is, and this is almost impossible to do when you're the person doing it, is to be self-aware to see how it's going to be perceived. Yeah. That's the thing, right? I've done this before. I'm guilty of this, right? Where someone comes in and says some really douchey thing, and then I go, you're a piece of shit, get the fuck out of here. Thinking that like everyone's going to read the message that the guy said. Yeah. They're going to interpret it the same way. They're going to realize how fucked up it was. They're going to hear my response and go, that was totally appropriate, whatever, right? But half the time, some people come in halfway through. Some people don't get the context. They don't understand the tone.
They interpret the original message
and I look
differently.
like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So, right? That's a very real thing that I think Nikita hasn't probably learned, and it's probably like, I mean, it's like impossible
because
to know.
like that response I sent you in the Discord, like fuck off, go 3D rip this knife from EFT and fucking compare it to the knife. Like, that's not a self-aware like defense. That's like a visceral reaction.
That's him, like the camel's back has been broken.
Yes.
The
Which once again,
off.
he's human and he is allowed to do that. Once again, I am not the Twitter police. I am not the Twitter police. I am not here to. Why did I sound like Donald? I am not the.
If BSG has shareholders, they'd be probably have a conversation with him after something like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, but if not, right, then it's his company. He can burn it to the ground. I don't know the structure of it.
100%. 100%. Now, that being said, they're tweeting a lot and they've tweeted some just like little interesting, noteworthy bits of information. But before we get into that, I do want to take a second and thank the second sponsor for the podcast this week, and that is Litter Robot. Now, let me tell you, all right, we all know that our AI overlords are coming, that the robots are going to rise up. They're everywhere. But this one is kind of cool. There's a robot exists, and it helps you clean out the litter box if you are a cat owner. The Litter Robot is the solution for all your litter. The Litter Robot is the solution for all your little litter box problems. Never scoop again. Litter Robot's self-cleaning technology automatically cleans after every use, so your cats will always have a fresh bed to do their business. Now, you have one of these, right?
I've had one for quite a while.
You're a cat dad.
My wife literally begged me. she's like, you have to be sponsored by these people. She said that like 6 months ago.
That's
and
so
I'm like,
funny.
You know, the moment that this like came across my desk, I was like, yes, because I absolutely like literally having this litter robot changed the structure of like our upstairs.
Oh,
You know, I remember when I was little, I used to go over a friend's house. They had a couple of cats. You walk in there and it was like getting punched in the face.
that is my, like, when I was a kid, I had cats, and that was my experience.
The litter box is like 4 feet from my wife's desk.
Damn.
You don't smell a thing. You don't hear anything. Every now and then you get a little bloop with a message being like, hey, it needs to be clean. It's actually incredible. I was going to say I use it every day. My cat uses it every day. But it just took like the chore away. It just deleted the chore. And
because it is a chore. It was literally on the list of chores, and it would rotate through which one of us had to scoop it out. And I remember gagging and doing this. Yeah. Oh, dude, 100%. 100%.
Because it gets airborne and you know, like, I'm not breathing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I've seen enough episodes of House to know that.
Yeah. Something can happen. So yeah, easy, convenient. Your house doesn't smell like a litter box, and it even sends notifications to your phone when it needs to be emptied, and gives you data and insights to stay on top of your cat's health. It doesn't get easier than this. You can join over 1 million happy pet parents. So if you are a cat owner and you are interested, you can, as a special offer to listeners of the podcast, you can go to stopscooping.com/pogcast and enter promo code POGCAST to save an extra $50 off any litter robot bundle. That is an extra $50 off any litter robot bundle at stopscooping.com/pogcast and enter promo code POGCAST at checkout. Stopscooping.com/podcast, promo code POGCAST at checkout. Thank you so much to Litter Robot for sponsoring this episode.
Yeah, thanks for my wife and my cat.
Yep. My wife.
My wife. You know, that's like the 17th time I've said that.
We can't stop.
I had 2 clips from Borat in my documentary.
Oh.
Yeah, and I got my hair cut, and every now and then, both me and my barber always end up talking about, you know, our lives, because you talk to your barber about whatever, and of course, every time one of us says, yeah, so me and my wife, the other one interrupts, my wife.
It's just, you have to do it. You have to do it.
Indeed.
Okay, so we can go through some of these tweets, just like some interesting things. This one I'm going to put in the Discord because there are pictures. It's an interactive experience. This was a few days ago, actually, but he showed some screenshots, and he said before and after of reducing the fog. So that was kind of just like, oh, I guess we're reducing the fog, but that's great because that's been something that me and many of the community have viscerally been frustrated at. And
Brother, why?
I'll put it in the chat too. I mean,
I'm looking at it. It's just like the problem
is how the pictures are ordered.
Side by side in the fucking order. God damn it, Twitter.
Yeah. You know what? Hayes may have even done that. I think somebody like literally put the pictures on top of each other.
Or like de-hazed, am I right?
Oh my God. So that, here.
Nope, that's definitely not him.
He did, yeah. I just sent it to you.
Oh, brother. While I pull this up on a side note, my algorithm is fucked, bro.
What happened?
Because I've been dealing. Okay, here's the thing. A lot of the flat earthers hate the Jews. They hate the Jews. They're all anti-Semitic douchebags. So I've been having to Google this shit, and literally my Twitter home feed, it's no longer like porn spam, like OnlyFans bots. Now it's check out this fucking like guy being shot in Afghanistan or whatever out in the street. It's like It's all just, dude, it sucks. My fucking my YouTube algorithm, everything's destroyed.
That's yikes. You need to alt everything accounts for research.
Yeah,
Veritas research.
Oh my god, yeah. If I didn't have YouTube like Premium, I
Oh yeah,
would just pull it up in
incognito or whatever. Anyways, the fog.
wow. Okay, so I mean, like, definitely a good thing. Definitely, I feel as if it's almost not noticeable.
Oh, it's so noticeable in game. Yeah. So
Probably.
yeah. So they did this.
Probably.
They did these screenshots, and you could like once again you're flipping through them, and you're like, okay, yeah, like it, way out in the distance. But once you so today actually they did this as an update. They did a patch this afternoon. Apple came into chat and was like, "Yo, restart your game," and there was like a little 20 megabyte patch, and it was this, and it was like so. These screenshots are hard if you were somebody that was like actively playing Tarkov and then you hop into your favorite map and you like check down a lane you normally check, you're like, whoa. You know what I mean? I spawned by check 13 on streets and I always check down towards Expo and I was like, I can see everything. Like I can see this dude blink down at Expo 300 meters away. I was on woods. I hopped up on Jump Rock and I was scoping out 800 meters, like no fog. The game, it's funny because the people are like, why does the game look weird? The game looks sharper because you didn't realize how much of the fog was almost softening the really like sharp textures of all the foliage and stuff like that. Tarkov has always had, in my opinion, even without the painkiller effect, sharp foliage and trees. And so because there's just so much more of it, the game almost looks like you're under the painkiller effect. But I will take it. It is great. Shoreline, customs, streets, woods, like you can see.
You know what the saddest thing of BSG like setting themselves on fire as if like Tiananmen Square was the tanks thing, right? Never mind.
I think so.
Like, but sort of self-destructing in the way that they did over the last few weeks is how many people are like, fuck it, I'm done with the game. Like right before they go and make, like, can you imagine if you could see things,
dude?
If you could hear things.
The game is unironically, from a combat and or player's perspective,
ever been. Don't say
one of the better states it's been in a while. They responded to everything, dude. Like, let's go back. I want to go back to that. Because remember, it was like 8 weeks ago, we had that episode where I was like, Tarkov's in the worst state it's ever been. And you're like, what do you mean? Like 50% of those things have been addressed or more in the past 8 weeks. Like the audio, the binaural pop, if it hasn't been completely fixed, it has been lessened a ton. The audio headsets have been completely redesigned and squished so that the best headset in the game and the worst headset in the game, the difference in like hearing distance is like sub 10 meters, whereas it used to be a 30 or 40 meter hearing distance. They reduced base inertia. They increased carry capacity. They increased base strength. They reduced camera blur. They reduced aim punch. Like,
wow, it's almost like they took
they reduced the fog
fucking mauled list at like a shop, like grocery shopping list.
They took my mauled list too. Literally 8 weeks ago. I don't remember what episode. I can pull it up. 8 weeks ago, I was vehemently defending that I think Tarkov is in one of the worst states it had ever been in. And almost everything on that list has been addressed. Even the optimization, the fog, a bunch of people put it in chat. A bunch of people are saying that they're getting better frames. It depends on the map. I got like a 40 FPS boost on Woods. Like I was at 180 FPS. I was at 120.
That's 100% boost for me.
I was at 120 FPS scoped in with a voodoo on Woods. I got like a maybe 10% boost on streets. So it depends on the map. I had like 200 frames on interchange. It was crazy, dude. So I say that to say I agree with that sentiment you gave, which is right now there are more people than ever being like, F this game, I'm out. and also more people than in a long time playing other games that are competitors in the scene. And meanwhile, it's actually like PvP feels incredible right now.
Yeah, and then the reason why it's just so depressing is because it's like they're only giving us a fraction of the game that we wanted, that we paid for, that we asked for 5 years ago. They're only giving to it a subset of the community now that doesn't feel so fucking annoyed, frustrated, and betrayed that they've quit.
And once again,
so it's just
I get the making the correlation to saying they're only doing these things because they're hemorrhaging players. Because once again, I can't speak to whether that's true or not, but I get that. It does feel that way. It does feel like, because the thing is, here's why it really does feel like they're only doing this as a result of the drama. Nothing they've done is new. Every single thing that they've adjusted have been things the players have been begging for years. Increased base stamina, reduced base inertia, strength.
Service.
So you can't even say, well, no, it's not because of the drama, because you guys just brought this up and we're doing it. No, that's what I'm saying. When you look at the timeline, you're pretty much screwed. Like, it's going to look that way. We've asked for some of these things for upwards of 5 years, 4 or 5 years. And 5 days after Arena Breakout comes out, you're reducing the inertia, you're reducing the strength, you're taking away the fog. Like, once again, it's hard to believe you just like woke up randomly, completely independent of Arena Break, and was like, man, I should just give them what they want now. Like,
no, you know what? I have an alternate explanation. This is the cynic in me. Nikita wrongly assumed that all of the things we asked for were bad ideas for years. Let's just say Nikita was like, these are all bad ideas. The game will be worse for it. And when everybody was mauling, Nikita said, fine, fuck you all. I'm going to give you all the bad shit that you asked for, so the game fucking sucks.
Maybe.
And it's gonna be shitty. And then all of a sudden, everybody was like, yo, this is sick. And he was like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
He did it to spite us, thinking that it would be bad. And that's why, that explains why.
That's a funny take.
He didn't do it. I mean, listen, it's consistent
That's a
with
funny take.
Why didn't you do the easy thing? Half of this shit
so easy
was literally tweaking integer values in a fucking text file somewhere.
And you know what's so vindicating is that you and me have been saying that these things are such like in the past when we've made these suggestions, people are like, they don't have the dev time for that. And we're both like, no, this is literally a spreadsheet where they update 4 numbers and press save, and they're doing it. They're doing like 8 megabyte updates that completely make the game feel better.
So then the question is, why didn't they do it before?
Exactly.
Because Nikita thought that it was bad for the game. Either because it was too easy or because there'd be other repercussions or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I think he was wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty demonstrable.
That is
point.
a really interesting take on it, that he heard all of our feedback, disagreed with all of our feedback, got frustrated at the state of the community, and went, fine, I'll give you this shitty game that you want. You're going to hate it. And then we were all like, hell yeah.
So I want to make it clear.
It's not impossible.
I don't actually, that's not an impossibility.
But you don't think it's the only possibility.
But the actual like important point that you should extract from this is this shit was trivial. And has always been trivial.
Yes.
So, and if it was so trivial, and if they're willing to do it now, why were they not willing to do it before?
Yes.
Maybe you have to ask, why didn't they do it before, and why are they doing it now?
Yep.
And is the correlation that everyone got mad? If it's everyone got mad,
yep,
then was he doing it to make people happy
or mad?
So if he was doing it to make people mad, that makes sense. But if he was doing it to make people happy, it also makes sense. But what that means is that he knows, like, that would imply that doing it before would have made people happy.
Yes.
And he chose not to.
Yes.
So the question again is why, and is it game design? If it's game design, well then he's demonstrably was wrong about the game design.
Yeah, and welcome to just basically how the rational people have been trying to figure out how to handle all this. Because like, of course, you have the irrational people that are just like, that are just going to dumpster on whatever. But exactly, we're like, okay, well, he's giving us this stuff. Is he giving us because he wants to make us happy? Well, all this stuff was easy, and all this stuff we've said for a long time. So why wouldn't you have done it before? I don't understand. The found and raid thing is another thing. Like, dude, it's just so many things, and I don't know how to interpret it, and I genuinely can't fault people for interpreting it as he's only doing this because of the drama, because it is the lowest hanging fruit, and there's not a whole lot of other possibilities that are super out there. You know what I mean? So I'm not here to say what I think. I'm just saying it is very understandable to feel
so
like. Go ahead.
I have a question for you. I can't remember who the people are specifically.
Okay.
But I don't remember if it was like some of the Giga Chads or not, but maybe some of the names in the community, whoever they are. I actually can't remember what side they were on. I just remember that there was a large contingent that fought against me and my proposal to make people more mobile. The argument being we can't have the like fucking slide cancel, blah, blah, blah. People running around with, right? I don't remember who they were. I remember initially when that video Tarkov needs to change, everybody thinks of that as the recoil video.
Yeah. There was so much war.
Was like 40 to 30% of that. I talked about the weight system, the movement, the all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
How is the increased stamina, decreased inertia, all that? How has that been received? Is it like unanimous, or are there still people who are arguing like it's bad? Like it's too arcadey or whatever? I
don't know. Here's I haven't personally seen anybody argue that it's too arcadey. Maybe there are people, maybe some of those people even prefer it the old way. I am kind of trying to distance myself from like Twitter and reading all the responses and the YouTube videos and the reactions. So maybe I've missed something, but I would say from chat, most people seem to really vibe with all of it.
Interesting. I would love to, maybe I'll have to go, and I've just been detached from like EFT Twitter recently, but I would love to see like what does Landmark say about it? What does Glorious say about it? What does Willers?
Also, to be honest with you, a lot of those guys have not been back to Tarkov since Arena Breakout.
That's the other thing too. I don't know if I'm not seeing it, they're not playing Tarkov, or
like I genuinely don't think Landmark has played Tarkov since Arena Breakout came out. So
gotcha.
So that's another thing too. I know some people are on Arena. I know some people are still on Gray Zone, and some people have been playing. A lot of people have been vibing with Star Citizen. And then you have some that, have stuck with Tarkov, and some that have done a little bit of everything. So I think that also kind of like, just like factors in to the, what the opinions are and stuff. So it'll be interesting. It's also super interesting that like a bunch of this stuff happened late wipe. So like I have max strength and endurance. I really appreciated the inertia changes and the stamina buff and the strength buff, but I want to see what that feels like on level 1. You know what I mean? Strength and endurance. But so I love it. I felt it. I felt the inertia immediately. Like as soon as I got into the raid, I don't think like, and the inertia thing has been, in my opinion, a real W, because as somebody who plays like 60 hours a week, I noticed it immediately, but it is not anywhere near like 2018 Tarkov. You remember AD, just like full body, like your top to bottom position, just wiggling this fast, ADing around corners. That is not at all in the game anymore. And that is what I had been screaming for years with the inertia, because once again, and we've talked about this many times, it's not new. People, and we talked about this last week with the Found and Raid, the conversation is only take away inertia, keep inertia, take away inertia, keep inertia. And what you and I had been saying is like, we used to have inertia dialed to a 0. Now we have inertia dialed to a 20. A few of us are just saying, can we try a 10? But the argument was, go back to no inertia, keep inertia the way it is. Go back to no inertia, keep it the way it is. And what they did to inertia was they dialed it back. It is nowhere near no inertia, but it feels better. So like, I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, see, I don't know if it was timing or if it was my play style, but like I never experienced the thing that a lot of people used to maul about, which was the like jiggle peeking the corner, pixel peeking, whatever. Like I said, it might have been timing. I don't know. But so that the AD stuff that people were talking about in that context never bothered me. What bothered me was you'd be running, all of a sudden you'd see a guy and you'd both be out in the open. Yeah. And then you'd both be doing this with the recoil and the aim punch and the blur. And that was annoying. That was annoying. You know, you're sitting there with the UMP and you have to hit him with like 9 bullets and you can't see, you can't aim, you can't predict where they're going to move.
And that feels much less. In several ways. Like I've had a few instances in the past few days where I felt aim punched. Like I was in a fight and I got aim punched. And it like I still hate it. I still am like get rid of it from the game. But it's not like a 45 or a 60 degree turn anymore. Like it's like if I'm shooting center of mass and I get aim punched, I'm just off their shoulder now. And I just go zoomp right back in. So it feels better. Same thing with like the camera shake. It's still annoying, but it feels better. You know, you can still say you want it in the game or don't want it in the game. You know, that stuff normally bothers me. And because of inertia, those out in the open fights now, basically just both parties pick a direction and then they just maintain it. You either orbit each other or you both go the same direction. And that's basically how that fight goes because nobody wants to stand still and do nothing. But if you try to AD, you just stand still. You don't end up with any like locomotion in either direction. So when you catch somebody, you know, you either pick A or D and you just hold it. And that's you just like what it used which is fine. It feels fine. Yeah.
That's what it used to be because here's the deal. When the recoil is controllable and somewhat predictable, like the old AK-74, you know, that was kind of just like a laser beam, right? Yeah. Then you can kind of hold the strafe because what you're doing when you go to strafe is like you're moving a variable. Yes. It's a lot harder. It's a lot harder when you got 2 joysticks, right? Than if one joystick is locked on and you only have to adjust one, right?
Yep.
So, but then once they added more recoil and more aim punch and whatever in like 0.9, 10, 11, 12, then that's where you had to, what you were doing.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
You're adding another RNG variable in the hopes that you can
you would just stack RNG in your favor.
Yeah, like you have randomness in the X direction on the X axis, randomness in the Y axis, and then so that when you are strafing, you're adding like another axis of randomness to make it harder to hit. So before it was you hope that you get out randomed, you know, or don't get out random, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I see what you mean. So it's so interesting. It like to put a pin in this conversation, that I don't want to be hyperbolic and say that this is the best Tarkov has ever been, especially because I put my foot down so hard that in a lot of ways it was the worst it had ever felt for me. But legitimately, so many of the issues that I specifically brought up that made me like not want to play this game have been addressed, if not largely fixed. So it feels like a completely different game than it did 2 months ago, 3 months ago. There are still issues.
It must be tough experiencing that and then having to swallow that it's a dead game
that nobody's playing.
That it's a scam, that
100%.
whatever.
100%.
Because you can't have nice things. You can either play a game that sucks that everybody loves, or play a game that doesn't suck that everyone hates.
But that's it.
Welcome to the internet, bitch.
Welcome to the internet. Okay.
That's a Bo Burnham song, right?
Yes. Did you see?
I couldn't remember the jingle or I saw the video.
Yes,
I think
Boomer's video. Yeah.
Yeah, incredible.
Funny.
I don't think I had heard of them before, but I was like,
oh yeah, Boomer. Yeah, he's cool.
my fucking spirit animal right there. Like no one has done anything musical really with Tarkov for a really long time, and that was kind of my steez.
Yep.
But that was a whole new take on it. Took it to the next level.
Yep.
I fucking loved it, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now, there's a few other things that we can fly through. Some interesting tidbits, kind of like more Nikki leaks from back in the day. But before we do, I want to take a second and thank the third and final sponsor for this episode, and that is HelloFresh. You know them, you love them. We've worked with them a ton. I've used them for an extremely long time. HelloFresh is a delivered meal kit. You get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. You can skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. Personal story, I used these guys for a really long time as a way to, we got young kids. I'm busy with work. We got a lot of stress. Grocery shopping is mad stressful, and figuring out what we want to eat and all the 87 ingredients we need. And then I need 4 spinach leaves for but then Walmart only sells the giant tub, and then I throw away the extras. And so we used HelloFresh for a long time, even before we got sponsored by them, as a way to just like clean up the mind. There's like 30 or 60. There's an unbelievable amount of recipes to choose from every week. You just pick what you want. It comes with everything, the exact amount that you need. And genuinely, because of the relief of stress of like what we're getting and when, it made me kind of like re-fall in love with cooking. I'm making pan sauces. I'm learning how to make this, that, and the other. I'm eating a lot more vegetables. So it's like, it's genuinely been a delight for me using it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows how lazy and generally unhealthy I am. So any chance I can get to like break the mold is a chance I jump on. And honestly, whenever I think about, if you were to ask me any other time, do you like cooking? I would say no, I hate cooking.
Yeah.
But what I really hate is figuring out what to cook, getting the ingredients, portioning it all out, going to the grocery store, right? Actually, all of the annoying things.
Yeah, that lead to cooking.
Get all that's taken care of by HelloFresh. Every time me and my wife end up getting HelloFresh, we literally make like a date out of it, a date night where we can cook. It's easy, it's chill. Don't have to deal with the annoying nonsense of all that stuff. It's just it's such a fantastic product, dude.
And it being all online makes it unbelievably easy and customizable. You can choose how many meals you want, how frequently you get them, how many people you want to feed. You can take a week off. It's not like quitting the gym. You can take a week off. You can pause your membership. You can resume things. You can do every other week if you want. You can pick between, do you want extra protein? Do you want they have like 650 calorie or less options. They have quick and easy ones for like lunches where it's ready in 20 minutes or less. Completely under your control, which is great. And you get to customize it. So, they work with all sorts of chefs to make the ingredient list and to make the recipes. It's pretty great. So you can go to HelloFresh.com/Pogcast for free dessert for life. Hold on. Podcast. What is this promo code? I think it's Pogcast Sweet. I'm sorry. They've changed our promo code a few times, so I just want to make sure I'm getting it right. Go to HelloFresh.com/Pogcast Sweet, and I get it, for free dessert for life. 1 dessert item per box while your subscription is active. That is free dessert for life at HelloFresh.com/Pogcast Sweet while your subscription is active. So thank you so much to HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. I feel like I should read that again because I messed it up. HelloFresh.com/Pogcast Sweet. Free dessert for life. 1 dessert per box while your subscription is active. Thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode.
Pog.
I know. I would think Pogcasts Wheat is how I was reading it.
Well, you put the wrong emphasis
yes,
on the wrong
I put the
syllable,
emphasis on the wrong syllable. It was like podcasts, like plural or possessive. And then I was like, what's a wheat? But I got there eventually. It took me a while. Woof.
Oh, I know. What dessert, dude?
Yeah. Okay, so last few things we can kind of, I say we can kind of blare through it, but literally the next one is He tweeted a picture. It looks like it's on streets. It's the back of a red car. And a menu pops up. And I'm going to zoom into it.
Is it a video?
No, it's just a picture. It's literally just a dude holding an RPK in the back of a red car. And you can pay 4,900 rubles to extract.
Or extract gear. Tell me it's extract loot.
4,900 rubles to extract. So this isn't a Streets of Tarkov. It's map-to-map travel. Transfer to Streets of Tarkov for 8,000 rubles. But then underneath that is move items to stash. So it's all three. So very, very interesting. So he tweeted that with the line map-to-map travel work in progress. So this is fascinating because it's let's go from shallowest to deepest. This is not the car we normally take, but apparently you can extract via this car. And this says move items to stash. The BTR, I think, is one of the best changes that they've made in a long time, but inside a terrible design process. Because like you can move items to the stash, but even as someone that plays Streets all the time, I never use it because like, where's the goddamn BTR? Right? Like it's on the, I'm like, ooh, I can transfer this to my stash, but I'm not going to run around the map looking for it. It's so few times it's right there when you need it. So I was so happy they added that as a feature, but then they never did any, like, you know what I mean? It's hard to implement. Yeah. So if this is just like a static car I can run up to, ditch some gear, and then keep into my raid, huge W. And then obviously the point of the picture is the map-to-map travel, which pretty unanimously from the community was like, that just begs more questions.
Yeah, am I going to be waiting for loot to load?
Exactly.
Like if it doesn't put you in a raid in less than 30 seconds, it's fucking pointless.
And even then, it's arguably pointless. Like that's kind of 100% is I was thinking like under what circumstances and this is basically where I ended, where it's like, I'm going to ask a lot of questions. I don't have the answers to them. If they have the answers to them, cool. I'm not saying that this feature shouldn't come to the game. I'm just saying that all we have to go on is this picture. And if it's this picture just put into the game we have, I'm like, dude, when would you rather go to a map as opposed to like you're out of meds, you're out of ammo, you have a bunch of loot, you're hurt, like you have to turn in a quest, like when
you can click two buttons and reset everything.
Exactly. So like,
unless I got rid of that.
People were asking like, are you going to be put into a raid that's already active? Are you going to be put into a fresh raid? Like, are you going to basically scav in as your PMC? That would kind of be cool because that would actually keep, people revolving door in and out. If there were always 10 PMCs on Streets, that would actually be kind of fun. But there's problems with that. Are you going to, like, if basically what you said, if when I click that, I basically go into a queue, hit matching, hit loading loot, hit waiting for players, when would I want to do that without stopping by my hideout to just like refill my mags, right? But if this puts me in another raid in 8 seconds, then there's a reason because I'm like, oh, I'm healed up. I still got plenty of ammo. This raid's dead. I'm going to go to another one. So there's so many questions. Is this exclusively used in the storyline quests? And there's no real reason to do it, but it's fascinating nonetheless.
So I wonder if, so imagine this, imagine that the raids were like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And well, then imagine you had this feature and then imagine they got rid of the quick heal feature, right? Yeah. Imagine they made the food and water, they made the items more scarce, but they made them drain much slower.
Yeah.
then I could see like you do a raid, and let's just say it takes 10 seconds to get into another raid, and let's say you might spawn into that raid an hour and 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Well, now your experience. Now, it's kind of like one of those things where I think you would have a better experience there. Like overall, there'd be more randomness, more chaos. It would be more like exciting and probably, but at the same time, it's also, you're just making it harder for yourself.
Yeah.
So like it's do you want to play a more interesting game that's objectively harder when there's the costs of whatever? It's hard to say, but there are chances. There's the chance that changes could be made to make it make sense.
For sure. So
yeah.
No, dude, I am with you on that torn where like you and I both can, like, I think this is what you're saying. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like part of me is like, I want to see the game go this direction. I want longer raids. I want more incentive to stay in raids. I want more dynamic experiences. But going off of this JPEG, I can't like help but wonder if this would just make everything like less intuitive and more complicated in an attempt to make it more dynamic. Like basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is at a 10,000 foot view, I'm like, yeah, I love this. But then when I like zoom in, I start to think, would every aspect of the game have to change to make this like intuitive or you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, I am, so like, I'm excited to see what they do. You know, the big W for me is that we have, extract gear, more dead drops, because we needed dead drops that were, we needed dead drops that were static, in my opinion, as a first step towards keeping people in raids and making raids more dynamic. So, and that alone, the fact that the static dead drops is also a part of this picture obviously means that they're thinking about more changes to the game than just the map to map travel. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I would have assumed that Nikita would have dropped like map to map travel working progress, and it would literally just be leave or go to streets. But the fact that they put that there means that they're thinking about the other stuff. So for all we know, maybe they are thinking about these questions. Maybe they are going to make the raids 2 hours long. Who knows, right? But it's so hard because I keep being asked what I think about map to map travel. And then when I start thinking through like all the different ways that like, why would you do this? Why would you do that? People are like, well, just wait and see how they do it. And it's like, well, yeah, I was going to wait and see how I do it. You asked me what I thought about it. And what I think about it is that it makes me ask more questions. You know what I mean? So, then he asked on Twitter what map needs an expansion next, Customs, Factory, or Lighthouse. And I don't understand why you would pick Customs or Factory. Lighthouse that map needs love so bad.
Factory, so I would vote Factory solely for the reason that they are incapable of figuring out the spawns. So at least that would.
You're right. You're right.
Now, the problem is,
I wish I could change my vote now.
They'd add 75 square feet and 4 spawns. So
and not use any of them.
No, but even if they did, right, you add 75 square feet and 4 spawns, the spawns would be worse, right?
Yeah,
That's what they would do. They would add a disproportionate amount. Really, what they should do in Factory is add a whole fucking area and no spawns.
Yeah. Because that's what they did before. They did the Factory expansion, and I still only ever spawned forklift. Like, you know, so I don't know. Then he showed off some animation work on an M60.
I saw that one.
It's a belt-fed LMG. I don't know what an M60 is. I don't know what chamber it shoots. It's a big-ass gun, though, let me tell you.
Jesus Christ, this is what I'm talking about. I pull up Twitter
dude,
to go see this. In my home feed, the first thing is literally Mai Tai champ Joe Schilling knocking out a random guy in a bar. It's just like everything is just fucking violence. And then the next thing down is it's got to stop with a facepalm, and it's just like I can't tell what's happening. It's a girl ranting. I'm sure it's either super sexist against one of the genders, and I'm not sure which. It's either like crazy psycho liberal girl saying some dumb shit, or super misogynist, like I should be able to have 19 girlfriends and beat them, right? It's one of those. Fuck, dude. Oh my god. It just assumes I'm a piece of shit.
Well, you just got to get back into Tarkov and start liking some tweets and change that algorithm.
Ugh.
But yeah, we got the M60 leak. Then we got a confirmation that all Edge of Darkness people have access to the PvE servers now. I continuously hear that those servers take 10 to 20 minutes to match into, and frequently you get disconnected from PvE servers. So I don't know. Then today, they did the patch with the fog. Additionally, they tweeted, or Nikita tweeted, a wireframe of proper physicalized. And then also they tweeted a picture of Mechanics Workshop, like as a physical space.
Mechanics, dick and balls.
Yeah.
Nikita's just trolling.
Dick and balls. No, but they yeah. They did tweet a picture of like that. This is confirmed Mechanics Workshop physical. Like it looks like the lighthouse thing. It looks like I can walk up in there. So that's a whole nother conversation. It's not really though. It's copy paste the map to map travel thing. At a 10,000 foot view, is it really cool to put all the traders physically in game? Yes. But then 1 second after you think that would be cool, you ask yourself a million very valid questions about why, how, when, for what purpose, and none of those questions have answers. So I'm not saying I don't want them in the game, or I do. I'm saying it's like, it's cool from conceptually, but then it's like, what game are we playing? What game are we making? I don't know. Maybe it's a different one than I thought. I don't know.
Oh my god, I didn't actually read the beginning of this. The quote about the tweet about the M60 animations.
Oh yeah.
The fucking tweet is, I forcefully moved optimization programmer to animations.
Yeah.
Look at how he do an M60.
Yep.
And then apparently he had to respond, of course it's a joke.
Well, of course. He also tweeted some work.
Hideout Parrot 1? Not Hideout Cat or Dog, Hideout Parrot.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Fucking, that's like the Bodie McBoatface.
For
Did
the
everybody
trolls.
just troll?
Yes.
There was 60,000 votes. How many fucking trolls
I
are
voted
there?
Hideout Pizza. We'll see if I get it in there. He also tweeted some work in progress shots of the linkage between Arena and Tarkov with like a new trader, but the trader, all he does, his name is Ref, and he looks like Dana White or whatever the UFC guy is.
Bro, I got, oh my god. Imagine if it was, I forget his name, the old guy, the Twin Galaxies adjudicator for like the Billy Mitchell, the old guy who wears the striped shirts.
Yes,
like, for Donkey Kong.
Ref. Dude.
Oh my god, how fucking incredible would that be? Just a fucking old man if it was that reference.
The
Walter Day, god damn.
In the work in progress shot, it was like you can send 1 million rubles to or from Arena a day. Which would be interesting. Then there's also going to be like Ref is going to show up in Arena and give like dailies and weeklies for in Arena. Yep. Dude, have you played the free for all yet in Arena? I mean, like, of course not, Lamau, right? Did you see my tweet?
I'm not sure I'll ever install the launcher again.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know if infinitely more likely that I never play Tarkov again. It's like as close to zero as I can say, but it's like very, very slightly further away from zero that I play Arena again.
Yeah. No, I get you. I hopped in. I was like, yo, free for all. I got like an hour left of the stream. We were having a really bad day at Tarkov. And I was like, Seal, do you want to go try free for all? He was like, yeah, sure. Our literal first game, we boot up into Arena. We go into free for all. We're on the new map. 6 players is the max on this map. 30 seconds in, 3 of them left. It was me and Seal, and the other guy was cheating, and he won. It was just me, Seal, and this guy, and he went like 52-3 or whatever.
Are you sure he's not just built different?
We were pretty sure he wasn't just built different. So
the mouse cursor that's on Jesse's forehead chat is
not
Jesse's mouse cursor.
mine. It's not. It's not. That it just moved on its own. It's not my cursor.
I force moved it.
Yeah. So that was my Arena experience. And then the last thing they tweeted was a work in progress of mortar strikes. I still have no idea. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. That's maybe the $500 edition. You get an item where you can call in mortar strikes. I don't know.
Huh.
And that is it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting.
So, fascinating stuff. Keep it up. Keep it up. We're supposed to have a Tarkov TV. They said in May. May's kind of coming to a close. We're supposed to have a Tarkov TV soon where we're going to get what's coming in the next wipe, I imagine. I don't know, man. I'm just chilling. That's what I'm doing. I'm just surviving. That's it.
All right. I hope it continues to get better. I wish my ex girlfriend Tarkov, I wish her the best of luck in her future relationships.
Yeah.
I'm glad she's off of bath salts and fucking heroin.
Yeah.
Too little, too late.
Yeah.
Her number's been deleted from my phone.
I get it.
Okay.
I get it. That's pretty. Yeah. That's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. But yeah, ultimately, that's pretty much everything. Nothing other like gaming news, anything crazy happened. We're already 2 hours and 15 minutes. I know we talked about story time. Maybe we'll save that for next week. I don't know.
Oh, wait. Let me look at the story time thing. There might be. I can tell one super fast.
Okay.
The Defender.
Blitz story time.
I'm sitting in the passenger seat
Oh, God.
of my dad's Toyota RAV4.
Is this like a Taylor Swift song?
Nope. Coming home from Sports Authority. Was that a thing anywhere else?
Wow.
Was that a thing anywhere else?
Sports Authority.
I'm like maybe 9.
Oh my God.
Maybe 10.
Okay.
And I had just bought 3 items. A new baseball glove.
Okay.
A pair of baseball pants.
Of course.
And a cup.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay.
Now.
Okay.
I vaguely recall. I'm really painting a picture here. In the cup holder was an empty can of Orange Crush that I had finished earlier.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm wearing And One shorts. I remember the shorts.
Yes.
This is really fucking painting a tableau.
And One.
Sitting in the passenger seat of the car at like a fucking stoplight. Okay.
Okay.
Of course, I naturally have to take the cup out, right, and like just slide it down into the thing and go, Dad, hey, check this out. Grab the whatever. He slams on the brakes and I go wham right into my fucking little cock and balls. And he still to this day never lets me live that down.
So you took the cup out or you put it in?
I put it in, but when I went to go like whack it, I don't know if he slammed on the brakes on purpose or whatever, but it just because it wasn't in the jock strap, I just shoved it under the And One baggy ass shorts.
Fair.
So it just slid down my knee.
Yep.
and I just whack. Oh, yep. So
that is 500 IQ from Papa Veritas.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is that I have a little bit, not a lot, right? Because, my kids are young. But I'd love to talk to your dad about this story because I have a little bit of an understanding now that my oldest is 6, that there's a specific type of hey dad when I know he's about to do something stupid. And if you can catch it and play into it, you know what I mean? Like you can.
I would always be tempted to either get the camera out. It's like, do you get the camera? Do you like reach to grab them?
Yeah.
Or do you just sit back?
Exactly. And you never know. You never know. Is this like, exactly, should I film this moment because it's going to be hilarious, or do I need to stop them from making this horrible decision?
Yeah. See,
it's a coin
back in fucking 1995, right? It would have been way too time consuming and cumbersome to have reached over, grabbed the like
camcorder,
camcorder, right?
Dude.
Yeah. There you go. So that's the Defender.
The Defender.
Oh, and I have one to add too. So what we still have on my list, GTA 5 RP.
Yep.
Saving an old British man's life twice. Substitute teaching. The BMW crash. And I have to add golfing under the minivan. Because I went golfing. If you go on my Twitter, you can see.
I saw that, by the way.
Did you see it with sound or watch
yes.
it with sound? Because you can hear the off the post 4 feet to my left, and you can hear my dad laughing at me.
Yeah.
And that just reminded me of golfing under the minivan.
Yeah, when you said golfing under I thought it was 100% chance Influence was coming next, but
no, this is another mid 90s young V. I wasn't top V yet. I was young V.
Dude, you know what's funny? My brain was, I was like, there's a top V joke in here. I'm so tired that I didn't know what it was, but I was like, I
was in my rap phase, not my manosphere phase.
Yeah. You hadn't taken the red pill yet.
True.
Well, hell yeah. A little blitz of a story time. The Defender. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for hanging. Thank you for being a part of the podcast, fam. If you want more like this, you can go to patreon.com/thepogcastpod, where we do early access and ad-free access to these episodes, and also additional episodes every week where rants and musings and all sorts of things. You can also hop in the Discord if you're on the Patreon.
We answer questions from the Discord.
Yep. And dude, what was I gonna say? And people have been asking recently about podcast merch, and I feel like we should explore that.
We should. I need to get merch. My merch company went out of business, so
yes,
I need to
we had the same merch company. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
There's got to be a shit cake merch. Did you see, super quickly, did Sealable come in and send you the shit cake AI stuff?
No.
Dude, he had Midjourney or something create a shit cake merch idea. I'm sending it.
Oh God, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody if anything ever comes from Midjourney. Don't tell anybody it was made with Midjourney.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
We don't need the AI.
Look at the picture.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So, I do feel like we have enough recurring memes that we could make some cool merch. We could do some actual podcast merch, but then I feel like we could do limited runs of meme merch. That would be fun.
I'm sold. Just as long. I don't want the same old fucking Gildan boxy.
No.
It's got to be the good shit, the good fitting tees, the nice quality, the shit that it's got to be.
I 100% agree.
It's got to be. Even if and here's the deal with most of these merch companies, if we sell a $55 hoodie, we make $3.
Yes, legitimately.
The reason why I haven't gone through to set up merch again is because last year I made $11 from merch.
No,
it's
seriously, when you see creators selling hoodies for $70 and you think that they're just trying to make any money from it. Like the cost price is like $52 these days. It's merch is crazy.
Yeah, because the trade-off is that we don't deal with
shipping, printing,
whatever, right?
Lots of stuff like that. Having to order like 200 at a time. Like there's a lot of
So we'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah, Leather Daddy, Creamcast, The Sky is Basketball. Like we've got.
Can you fucking imagine?
Got so many memes.
Can you imagine oh my God, I'm picturing Jesse in like BDSM ball gag, fucking like leather thing with the nipples, and it just says Leather Daddy. It has to be Jesse. I don't know why. It just makes sense.
No, it's a dueling.
Like the
set.
the Rick and Morty episode where they go to hell.
Yeah, I need somebody to Photoshop Veritas bald with a cigar stat for some Top V merch. Like 911.
Oh my God, I need that except without the swordfish. Without the swordfish, that's what I need.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. Okay, so that was the other thing. But check out the Patreon. Thank you so much.
And look out for my video. Look out for my video. My 7-hour documentary might be releasing within the next week. Within the next 7 days, it might be releasing.
I hope so.
Everybody, you need to share it, like, comment, do all the shit.
And if you're not going to watch it, put it up in a tab. No, leave it open in a tab at 20% volume and get 100% watch through. If you have YouTube Premium, download it. If you have YouTube Premium, you download a video, it counts as 100% watch through.
Oh my God. This is like potentially fucking make or break because there's going to be flat earthers that might be like mass reporting it.
Yeah.
There's going to be like.
We got to support the homie.
Just help a brother out.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you watch the first 5 minutes, you'll be hooked and you'll
watch
the whole thing.
I'm not worried about it because I'm actually genuinely excited to watch the whole thing, but.
Okay, sorry.
No, yeah, but yeah, and thank you again to MeUndies, Litter, Robot, and HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode. Thank you guys for the support. The support has been crazy recently. I still get like every week tons of people coming and being like, "Yo, love the cast." So that means a lot to us. We love doing it. So thank you for everything, and you guys are the best. We will definitely see y'all on the next one.
Get the hell out of here.